Experts estimate that there are around 75 trillion honeybees that exist in this world. Now that's a very big number. Surely the species is thriving. Surely nothing's wrong. Well, that itself couldn't be more wrong. 9 different bee species have been added to the endangered list in the past 2 years, and the all-important honeybee is not too far behind. In 2016 alone, the US lost 44% of its honeybee colonies. The amplified concern for this issue has coincided with the vastly increasing contributing factors to this species' demise, whether it be the invasive varroa mite species, which kills hives one by one, deforestation of the bees' natural environment and ecosystems, farmers' use of toxic pesticides on the plants and crops being pollinated by bees, or even the naturally occurring elements such as climate change and the reoccurring frosty winters, both of which can destroy a bee's colony. You might be thinking, so what if a few million bees die? What's the harm? Let me explain to you what that harm is. 75% of all crops in the world require bee pollination, including crops used to feed both wild and domesticated animals, such as fruit, vegetables, and most importantly, berries. These crops pollinated by bees make up 35% of global food production. This contribution to the global food source is valued at a staggering $577 billion. In order to highlight the severity of this problem, listen to this staggering statistic. Every third bite of food in America comes about as a result of honeybee pollination. So what would happen if honeybees and other pollinators became extinct? And don't forget, at their current rate, this is expected to possibly happen as early as 2035. So, let me make this really simple. If honeybees die, crops and flowers die. If crops and flowers die, then lots of animals die. Lots of animals dying, along with crops and flowers dying, means lots of humans die from having no food. The ones that don't die will be paying a much higher price for basic foods due to a drastic reduction in supply. We would also experience massive inflation and a reduction of supply in the cotton markets. And cotton is obviously used to make the majority of our clothing. This would also occur in canola oil markets, which we of course use for many things, including cooking food. Obviously this is an exaggerated scenario, but if honeybees were to go extinct, we would see massive reductions in food sources across the globe, which would mean much higher prices, and those who can't afford food or are unable to access it, and there are billions of people currently facing this situation, would certainly be facing death. So after all this, I arrived at my solution. My solution is to create a household bee farm package that can be purchased at your local pet store. This package will contain a smaller than normal bee farm, bee farming equipment, and an educational booklet that will have instructions and useful statistics. Should this not catch on and the bee problem continue to grow, it would be made a legal requirement that every household have its own domestic bee farm. This may seem dramatic, but when you consider the severity of the problem and its devastating consequences, it's actually not that dramatic at all. The farm and entire kit will now be provided by the government for free. Should a household medically prove to have family members who are allergic to bees, they can be exempt from saving the planet if they wish to be so. Should the household bee farm become too large as the queen begins to hatch more eggs, then a government-funded maintenance crew will come and collect your farm and move it to a proper bee farm where it will be able to grow and prosper under professional supervision. If you believe that it will be too hard to maintain, then you can pay a small monthly fee and those same professional maintenance crews will come in and clean your bee farm whilst also tending to its needs. The household can choose to collect and keep the honey produced by the bees, or again they can pay a small fee for this same collection crew to collect and keep it. A certain percentage of funds raised from these subscriptions will be put back into bee research.